For hundreds of years, the alien world of Ureth waited. Its skies changed colors with the seasons, its cities floated on mountains, and its people grew wise with time. But one thing never changed: the crown of the queen. It was not just a symbol. It was alive. Forged from a rare crystal found only in the heart of Ureth's deepest moon, the crown was said to hold the wisdom of past rulers. It chose who would wear it. No council or bloodline could force it. It had to glow, to shine with acceptance. Only then could someone be crowned the next true queen or king of Ureth. But for centuries, the crown remained dark. Many tried. Daughters of nobles, sons of warriors, elders with long histories. Even the current queen regent, Zelaria, once tried when she was young. The crown had rejected her too, so she ruled only as a temporary leader, a caretaker until the real ruler appeared. Now, she was older, her silver robes heavy with time. She stood on the balcony of the Crystal Hall, her expression calm but tired. Below her, the ceremonial square was full of citizens watching another hopeful candidate step forward. It was the 25th attempt this decade. The crown floated above a silver pedestal. The candidate, a tall young woman with violet skin and sharp eyes, placed her hands on the pedestal and waited. Nothing. The crowd sighed. The crown didn't move. No light. No glow. Just silence. Queen Regent Zelaria looked away, her heart sinking again. The council members around her exchanged nervous glances. Whispers filled the air. "How much longer must we wait?" one counselor muttered. "Is the crown broken?" asked another. "No," Zelaria said softly. "It is waiting. But for who?" Far below the palace, in the shadows of the royal prison, a new prisoner had arrived. He was not a noble, not a citizen, not even a Urethi. He was a human. His name was Cole, a pilot from Earth, captured after his ship crashed near one of Ureth's hidden borders. He had no weapons, no armor, and no idea where he truly was. The guards had laughed when they saw him, scruffy, bruised, and confused. "Another lost Earthman," one guard said. "Throw him in the last cell." Cole didn't fight. He was too tired, too hungry. He sat against the cold wall and stared up at the strange, glowing ceiling. He didn't understand their language, but he understood that he was alone. Meanwhile, back, in the council chamber, a young noble leaned toward the Queen Regent with a grin. "Your Grace," he said playfully, "since no one here can wake the crown, why not bring that new human prisoner? Perhaps the crown will enjoy a new joke." The council laughed quietly, but Zelaria didn't smile. She was tired of pride, tired of silence, maybe even tired of rules. She raised her hand. "Bring the prisoner," she ordered. Everyone turned to her in shock. "You can't be serious," one of the elder counselors said. "I am," she replied. "The crown has rejected our finest. Let it reject a stranger too. What do we have to lose?" The order was sent. In the cold cell, Cole heard the doors open again. 2 guards stepped in. "You're coming with us," one said. He didn't understand the words, but he saw their weapons and followed without a fight. He had no idea that he was being taken to stand in front of a nation, and no one, not even Queen Zelaria herself, could have guessed what would happen next. Cole walked between 2 tall alien guards. His hands were not tied, but the cold stares from the guards told him not to try anything. He didn't plan to. He had no weapon, no plan, and no clue what was happening. His feet moved slowly across shiny white floors. The air smelled like metal and flowers. He was brought into a large hall filled with light. Hundreds of people were gathered in rows. At the far end stood a raised platform with a glowing pedestal. Floating just above it was something strange, a beautiful, sharp-edged crown made of a crystal that shimmered with soft colors. Cole blinked in confusion. What was this place? Why was everyone staring at him? The crowd whispered in their alien language as the human prisoner stepped forward. Some laughed. Others looked angry. Queen Regent Zelaria sat high on her throne, watching. Her face was unreadable, but her eyes were sharp. She had seen many try and fail. Royals, warriors, priests, and now, a human. She stood and raised her hand. The hall grew silent. "This is Cole," she announced in the Urethi language. "A stranger, a prisoner, an outsider. The crown has rejected our own. Let it judge him as well." The crown floated silently. The guards pushed Cole gently toward the pedestal. He didn't understand the words, but he understood the gesture. He looked at the crown, then at the people. He thought maybe this was some kind of test. He didn't want to fail it. He stepped forward and placed his hands on the sides of the pedestal. For a moment, nothing, just silence. Then, the crown began to glow. At first it was faint, a small light like a spark. Then it grew brighter. The crystal shimmered with golden light. The air hummed. The crowd gasped in shock. The crown floated upward, higher than before, and slowly turned. Then it moved, gently drifting toward Cole. Cole stepped back, confused and scared. But the crown followed him. "Impossible," whispered one of the counselors. "It's choosing him." Queen Regent Zelaria stood frozen, her eyes wide, her heart pounding. In all her life, she had never seen the crown do this, not even for her. The crown stopped in front of Cole and hovered above his head, glowing stronger than ever. Its light touched his skin, wrapping around him like soft threads of sunlight. He looked up, unsure if he should touch it. Then slowly the crown rested on his head. The room fell completely silent. Every Urethi in the hall stared at him. Some looked afraid. Others looked amazed. A few looked angry. The queen stepped down from her throne and walked slowly toward him. She stood in front of Cole, studying him. Her voice was quiet but strong. "You don't even know what this means, do you?" Cole shook his head. "No, I don't." The translator device clipped to his collar repeated his words in the alien language. Queen Zelaria took a deep breath. The crown has not chosen anyone in centuries, but now it has chosen you. Cole looked confused. "Is that bad?" She didn't answer. Instead, she turned to the council. "Remove him from the hall. Take him to the inner chambers." "No. Harm is to come to him." The guards obeyed, more carefully this time. As Cole was led away, the queen turned to the shocked crowd. "Prepare for a council meeting," she said. "The age of silence is over." And deep in her mind, a question echoed again and again. Why would the sacred crown choose a human prisoner over all her people? The news spread across the empire like wildfire. The crown has chosen a human. No one believed it at first. The idea was too strange, too impossible. The crown had never glowed for anyone in centuries, not even for those with royal blood. And now, a human prisoner from another planet stood with it on his head? Whispers turned into loud talks. Talks turned into arguments. Some cheered, calling it a sign from the stars. Others shouted that it was a mistake, a danger, a joke that could destroy their world. Inside the royal palace, Cole sat in a quiet chamber. It was not a prison anymore. It had soft cushions, warm lights, and a table with food. Though he didn't recognize most of it. He had taken off the crown, but it now floated beside him, still glowing softly, as if watching him. He rubbed his forehead and looked around the room. "What is happening?" he whispered. The door opened. Queen Regent Zelaria stepped inside, dressed in a dark royal robe. 2 guards followed behind her but stayed near the door. Cole stood up quickly. "Are you here to send me home?" She did not answer right away. Instead, she looked at the crown floating beside him. Its light grew a little stronger when she came closer. "No," she finally said. "I'm here to understand you." Cole tilted his head. "Understand me? I don't know what's going on. I'm just a pilot who crashed here. I'm not special." "The crown thinks you are," she said. Cole sighed. "Maybe it's broken." Zelaria raised an eyebrow. "It is not broken. It is ancient and wise. It chose you in front of thousands. That has never happened before." She sat across from him and looked him in the eye. "What are you feeling?" "Right now?" He thought for a second. confused, tired, scared, and a little hungry. To his surprise, the queen laughed softly. "You are honest. That's rare here." He relaxed a little. "Look, I don't want power. I don't want a throne. I just want to go back to my world." She nodded slowly. "That may not be possible now. The people are talking. Some believe you are the chosen one. Others want you gone." There is tension in the air. Outside the palace, protesters were already gathering. Some shouted blessings to the new light-bearer. Others demanded his removal, saying a human could never rule Ureth. In the council chamber, leaders were divided. "This is madness," one shouted. "He's not one of us." "But the crown," another tried to argue. "I don't care what it did. We can't let an outsider take the throne." Queen Zelaria returned to the chamber after her visit with Cole. She stood before the council. "We are standing on the edge of something new," she said firmly. "The crown has made a choice. We must not rush to destroy what we don't understand." One elder pointed a finger. "And what do you suggest, Your Grace? Make him king overnight?" "No," she replied. "We test him. We learn his heart. If the crown truly sees something in him, then we must see it too." Back in his chamber, Cole sat down again, staring at the crown. It glowed gently, calm, not loud. He touched the air near it. It hummed softly, like a living thing. "I didn't ask for this," he whispered. But somewhere deep inside, he could feel something beginning to change. Not just in the crown, but in himself. Cole sat in the quiet room, still trying to understand everything. Just a few days ago, he was flying his ship through unknown space. Then came the crash, the prison, the strange trial, and now, the crown that chose him. It didn't make sense. The crown floated near him, glowing calmly. He had tried to leave it on the table, but it followed him like a shadow. It didn't speak, but it reacted to his feelings. When he was nervous, it pulsed faster. When he was calm, it softened. He touched it gently. "Why me?" he whispered. "What do you want from me?" The door opened again. A new visitor stepped in. She was tall and wore long blue robes with a silver crest. Her face was sharp, but not unkind. "I am Varel, advisor to the Queen Regent," she said. "I've been asked to teach you about our people." Cole gave her a weak smile. "I guess I'm staying longer than I thought." She sat across from him. "Many people outside this palace are talking about you. Some call you the future king. Others call you a danger." "I'm not trying to be anything," Cole said quickly. "I just want to go home." Varel nodded. "But when the crown chooses someone, it's not just about what they want. It's about what the world needs." He sighed. "I'm not your hero. I don't know your history. I don't speak your language without this translator. I don't even know how to eat half the food here." "None of that matters to the crown," she replied. "It chose you. That alone is enough." Meanwhile, Queen Regent Zelaria met with the council once again. The room was tense. Angry voices filled the air. "He's a prisoner. He could be a spy. What if this is a trick from the humans?" Zelaria raised her hand. "Silence. I've spoken to him myself. He doesn't want power. He doesn't understand our ways, but he has something rare. He is honest. He is not seeking control. That alone makes him different." An older noble stood. "So what will you do? Give him the throne?" "No," she answered. "But we must test him, not by strength or blood, but through the right of truth." The room fell silent. The right of truth was an ancient challenge, older than most remembered. It was a trial of heart, not muscle, a test of character, not of noble birth. It had not been used in over a century. "If he passes," Zelaria continued, "then even the most stubborn among you must accept the crown's will." Back in his chamber, Cole finished a simple meal and looked out the window. The sky of Ureth was filled with floating lights and flying creatures. It was beautiful, but it didn't feel like home. Varel stood beside him. "You will face the right tomorrow," It is not a fight, but it will be difficult. You will be tested in mind, in memory, and in spirit. Cole turned to her. What happens if I fail? Then the crown returns to silence, she said. And you will be sent home if it is possible. He nodded slowly. And if I pass? She looked at him carefully. Then you may become the first human ruler of our world. That night Cole could not sleep. He sat in silence, watching the stars move across the alien sky. He wasn't a soldier now. He wasn't a prisoner. He was something else. And tomorrow, he would find out what that really meant. The next morning, the palace was surrounded by silence, but inside its walls tension was rising. Everyone knew what was about to happen. The human prisoner, Cole, was going to face the right of truth. Some believed he was chosen by fate. Others thought it was all a mistake. But no one could ignore the glow of the ancient crown that had rested on his head. Cole stood in front of a tall silver door. Behind it was the trial chamber. Varel stood beside him, calm as always. You ready? She asked. I'm not sure, Cole replied honestly. But I'll go anyway. She nodded. That's enough. Guards opened the door. A long hallway made of crystal and stone led into a round chamber filled with light. Floating, symbols covered the walls. The crown, still glowing, moved ahead of Cole and stopped in the center of the room. The door closed behind him. Then everything changed. The chamber turned dark. A cold wind touched his skin even though there were no windows. Strange whispers filled the air. Suddenly the floor glowed and a path of light formed. In front of him stood a figure. It looked like his father from Earth, but Cole knew it wasn't real. You failed me, the figure said. Cole's hand shook, but he answered, I did the best I could. The figure disappeared. Another vision came. This time the crash. The moment his ship hit the strange planet. He saw himself crawling out, broken and bleeding, alone. Then came the hardest one, a child, crying for help. Cole had seen that memory before during a mission. He couldn't save the boy. It haunted him. Now the child stood before him again, reaching out. Cole dropped to one knee and whispered, I'm sorry. I never forgot you. The child vanished, and a warm light filled the chamber. The crown began to spin in the air and glow, brighter than ever. Outside, the council waited in silence. Queen Regent Zelaria stood tall, though her hands were tight with worry. Suddenly a loud shout came from the gates. A group of angry nobles had gathered. They were holding banners and weapons. He's not one of us, one of them shouted. This is a trick, he must be stopped. A small explosion shook the palace wall. The guards rushed to defend the entrance. The rebellion had begun. Inside the trial chamber, Cole heard the sound, but stayed focused. The final test appeared. This time, it was Queen Zelaria herself, standing, with a sword pointed at him. Prove your worth, the illusion said. He did not move. I don't want to fight you, he said. The sword swung at him. He dodged but refused to strike back. I don't want to lead with violence. If that makes me weak, then so be it. The vision froze. Then it faded away. The crown dropped gently into his hands, glowing warmly. The chamber doors opened. Cole stepped out, holding the crown, his face calm. Zelaria met him. You passed. Before he could speak, a guard ran in. Your Grace. Rebels are attacking the palace. Zalaria's eyes narrowed. Then we face them. Together. Cole nodded. He wasn't just a human prisoner now. He was the chosen one. And the people of Ureth were about to see it for themselves. The palace shook again as another explosion echoed through its outer walls. Smoke rose in the distance. People were shouting, weapons were drawn, and guards rushed to defend the royal grounds. Queen Regent Zelaria stood at the top of the palace, stairs looking down at the chaos. Her expression was strong, but her heart was heavy. These were her own people, fighting out of fear and pride. Cole stood beside her, the crown glowing gently in his hands. You don't have to face this, Zelaria said to him. You've passed the rite. You could stay hidden. But Cole shook his head. If I hide now, I'll never earn their trust. I'm not here to be a symbol. I'm here to stand with you. Zelaria looked at him again, surprised by his words. He was not like the others who had tried to take the crown. He didn't ask for power. He didn't chase glory. And maybe that was exactly why the crown had chosen him. Together, they walked through the palace gates. In the main courtyard, the rebels were forcing their way forward. But when they saw Cole, wearing the crown with calm steps, they froze. A tall rebel leader pointed at him. That crown belongs to Ureth, not to an outsider. Cole raised his hand. I didn't steal it. I didn't ask for it. It chose me. I went through your trials. I saw things I wanted to forget, and I didn't run. The leader stepped forward with his blade ready. You don't know our pain. You don't know our history. You're right, Cole replied. But I do know this. Fighting won't bring answers. If you want to test me, then test me with truth, not blood. The crowd grew quiet. Suddenly, the crown glowed brighter. A wave of light spread from it like a heartbeat. The rebel leader dropped his weapon. His hands shook. His anger faded. He looked at Queen Zelaria. Is this real? She nodded. It is. One by one, others lowered their weapons. Then, something even more unexpected happened. From the edge of the crowd, a group of old priests stepped forward. They were from the ancient order, the ones who had guarded the crown's history for generations. One of them, an elder with white markings on his face, raised his voice. There is a story in the oldest texts, he said, that one day, when the crown grows silent for too long, it will choose not from blood, but from balance. He pointed at Cole. Maybe this is that day. The wind blew softly through the courtyard. The fire had stopped. The shouting was gone. Peace began to return. Cole looked at all of them. I don't want to rule with fear. I want to learn. I want to protect. If you'll allow me, I will serve. Zelaria stood beside him and raised her voice. I will stand with him. Not as a ruler above, but as a guide beside. The people slowly knelt, not out of fear, but out of respect. In that moment, Ureth did not see a human. They saw hope. Cole held the crown close to his chest. It no longer glowed just for him. It glowed for everyone watching. A new day was beginning. The sun rose slowly over Ureth, painting the sky with soft pink and gold. The great city shimmered with light, but something new shone brighter than any building or star, the crown resting on Cole's head. The people gathered in the grand square. No longer was there anger or fear. Instead, there was hope and quiet excitement. Many still whispered about the strange human chosen by the ancient crown, but now they watched him with open eyes. Queen Regent Zelaria stood beside Cole, her robes flowing gently in the morning breeze. She smiled. A real smile, the kind that came from knowing a change had come and could not be stopped. Cole took a deep breath. His voice was steady and calm as he spoke to the crowd. People of Ureth, I am not from your world. I do not know all your stories or your ways. But I have one promise: to protect this world as if it were my own. A soft cheer rose from the crowd. Zelaria stepped forward and spoke. For centuries, our crown waited. It rejected many who were proud or unworthy. Now, it has chosen someone who did not seek power, but showed courage and honesty. We welcome him as our new leader. Cole looked at Zelaria with gratitude. Together they raised their hands, a symbol of unity between old traditions and new beginnings. But the peace was not only for the moment, it was a promise for the future. Cole's first act as the chosen ruler was to send a message beyond Ureth's skies. He asked to speak with the leaders of his home planet, Earth. He wanted to build bridges, not walls. His voice carried over ancient communication channels, reaching distant stars. Let us end fear between our worlds. Let us learn from each other. Let us grow together. Many on Ureth wondered if Earth would listen, but Cole's hope never wavered. Days passed, and the crown's light never faded. It seemed to glow brighter with every kind word, every act of peace. The old council slowly changed too. Those who once opposed Cole now worked beside him. They saw in him not an outsider, but a leader who cared. Queen Zelaria became his trusted advisor, guiding him through the ancient laws and customs. In the quiet moments, Cole often thought about his past, the crash, the prison, the trials. He never expected to find a new home among the stars. But now, he knew that home was not a place, it was the people who stood with him. One evening, as the twin moons rose high, Cole and Zelaria stood on the palace balcony. Below, the city sparkled with life and promise. Zelaria looked at Cole and said, "You have changed this world, and in doing so, you have changed yourself." Cole smiled softly. "And I have learned that being chosen is not about power. It is about responsibility." The crown glowed gently between them, a symbol of their shared future. Together they began writing a new chapter for Yrith, a chapter where differences were not feared, but celebrated, where a human prisoner could become a beacon of hope for an alien world. And as the stars shone above, so did the light of a new era, one born from courage, truth, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity.